What up, my fellow reviewers and moviegoers and TV viewers? I'm back again with a quick review. And as you see on my screen, this is on Civil War. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this movie. I'm going to just point out just certain things about this. And I think everybody knows when it says Civil War, it's not really what you think it might be when going into this movie. Okay, but nonetheless, I still enjoyed it. So basically, Civil War, it is what it is, as we know, civil war between our own nation and fighting our own people. But it's really on the photography or the photographers that take pictures during war. Because right now, I'm sorry, in this movie, you have Kristen Dunst, you have Wagner Moura, you have Jesse Plemons, which I'm going to show a scene that really just shows a lot. Now, even when the movie first starts, you have Kristen Dunst. She's playing one of the lead war photographers, and she takes pictures. No matter what's happening, somebody gets shot, somebody right in front of her, somebody blows up right in front of her, things like that. That's what she does. But as you watch the movie and look at Kristen Dunst, you can tell that doing this for so long, for so many years, because it tells you, as you listen very closely in this movie, it tells you how long she's been doing it. Like she's in her 20s. So basically, she's a photographer, and you can tell that it's really gotten to her. So this movie is really about to photographers or what they're going through. It also shows you war, but it also kind of shows you what could happen if our people or we went against the government and things like that. But this movie shows a lot of gripping scenes in this movie that go hard at times. And me and my wife went to see it this past Friday, and a lot of times I had to jump. And now also, even this movie's not that long, but you have like I said, the four main characters. You have Kristen Dunst, you have Ragnar Moore, he's playing Joel. You have Stephen McKinley. You probably seen him in Dune. So you have Jesse Plemons. You have Callie Spammy, I think it's Spinney. She plays Jesse. Now that character, Jesse, she sees Kristen Dunst's character. I'm sorry, a person. Well, I'm sorry, the person she's playing, and she knows her because she's a famous photographer, and she sees her, and basically, and somehow she just starts traveling because Kristen and her partner Ragnar Moore, that plays Joel, they are going to Charlottesville because that's where the Western forces, which is Texas and California, team up because they're trying to take over the government because basically the president probably using too much of his power, things like that. Like I said, they don't really go into depth about what's going on. They'll only give you little tidbits because that's not the main focus of this movie. The main focus of this movie is what they're going through, how they're going through different states, and see how, or you get to see how what's happening on how people are acting, even though, like say, you're Americans, people still don't, some people don't care. There's one scene they go to a place where, it seems like nothing's really happened, and they just kind of ignore it. That's a very interesting scene. And that shows you some people might not they care, but don't want to get too involved into it.
Hey, out of interest, are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
Oh, sure, but we just try to stay out.
Stay out.
With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if you want to try anything on.
Thanks.
In that one scene, you see some people are some people they understand it, but they're not really getting involved. But as you will notice, as you go outside, people in the building, there are snipers in the building too. And you can also tell that a lot of things probably shut down. Food's not going nowhere. There's also one scene when they're traveling, a lot of the major highways are just demolished or gone, so they use a lot of the back roads. But things happen like that, but it also makes you think that is that how we as Americans gonna go against each other. In the climate that we're in now, because we have a election coming up, that makes you think as well. How you know what people are thinking, even though we're Americans. People have two different social issues, but nevertheless, this movie really doesn't dive too much in that. It doesn't really show what sides Democrat, Republican. Don't know. They don't. Doesn't none of that. It just shows that war and what might happen. But it shows the photographers and what they go through and what they're taking. Sometimes you keep taking the pictures. Another really tough scene is, like I said before earlier, is where you have Jesse Plemons in there, and anything that he does, he's a fantastic actor. And when that scene comes up, you're like, oh my goodness.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you?
You don't know?
And in that scene, he asks you, "What type of American are you?" And you're like, "Oh, wow, okay." But like I said, this is not really the movie you think it is. It's really, really, what could happen if, but also just because you're American, some people might not have the same, as you. But it also shows that, even though we have different differences, we should still, respect one another. It's okay to have differences, but still respect people's opinion. But I digress. But as they move along in the movie, you can see that the girl that they take over, that's her name is Jessie, that Kristen Dunst take over. It shows with certain things happen and it shows that this is not an easy job, but also sometimes you have to become numb with things that you see, especially the things that you're doing as a photographer. Because there is war photographers out there, just like in World War One, II, in Vietnam. You go back and look at those; they have photographers out there, like sometimes in there in the cusp of the battle and what's happening, that shows you that nothing is civil about civil war. Of course, nothing civil about war or anything like that. It can be dirty, it can be scary, it can be gruesome, and it's really tragic. But the way Kristen Dunst portrays that, even though when the first movie comes on, you see her that the first scene, it goes hard. I don't tell you what happens, but man, she notices something's gonna happen. She notices it, and she takes cover right away. She don't say nothing, but she notices it, and after aftermath, she's right there taking pictures. And that takes a lot of it, but it also shows that these characters. One thing good about this movie, you can tell these characters know each other, and like you don't have to go too much in depth of each character. You don't have to go too much of each character backstory. Just listening to them and their dialogue shows that they're close, shows that they have that rapport. That's a good thing about this movie. Like I said, this is a movie that you think it might, what it is. It is actually not, but it's still a really good movie to watch. Kristen Dunst does a fantastic job as a photographer, showing her going through things that she can be happy, but she can be sad, she can be numb. But one big thing tragic happens and she just kind of breaks down a little bit, and you start seeing that she start having the PTSD moments and effects as the movie goes on to the final climax of the movie, and that was just a big shocker. So this movie, all in all, it is, like I said, not a perfect movie, but it's a very intriguing movie that I think everybody should go watch. This is a movie that if you're okay with just certain things happening or killing or shooting, things like that, go see it. But it might be hard on some people if they go see this movie. But it's a movie to go watch and think as well. So I would recommend this movie. I give this movie, like I said, probably 4 out of 5. Like I said, it's not too long. It goes by really fast and like makes you think. But the acting in this movie is done very well. It has a lot of scenes, a lot of emotional scenes. You got one scene of Joel, her partner, where he's just, something tragic happens and you just scream and crying and whoo! I tell you, go see it because I don't want to spoil it. But I enjoyed this movie. If you've seen Civil War, what you thought about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave a comment below. Please like and share and subscribe to this. And I'll have another review coming pretty soon, probably on Good Times. To tell you right now, I didn't watch all of it because I couldn't continue, honestly. But until then, guys, peace.